Here with Al Bernstein, who called the fights tonight for the Showtime Network, Lucas Matthysse with a dramatic third-round victory over Lamont Peterson in the style we were talking about at dinner the other night. Yes. About this guy with his left hook. Well, your impression of his performance?
Yeah, you know, this was extraordinary. Lamont Peterson wanted to box in this fight. Came out in the first round using his height and reach and looked so much taller and bigger than Lucas Matthysse, really. But one round of boxing was all he could get in. Matthysse landed one nice right hand, and of course is his signature power punch, and that told Lamont Peterson, whoa, this guy can hit. And then a punch we're not used to talking about with Lucas Matthysse became really apparent, and that is the left hook. It created 3 knockdowns in this fight, and here's a statistic for you. Lucas Matthysse now has scored 23 knockdowns in his last 12 fights. That's extraordinary.
That's unbelievable. That's about a knockdown a round. Yeah. And the old joke we have is that he knocked down DeMarcus Chop Corley 9 times, but only 7 were legit. You know? Hey, but there is something about him. What about that depth that he showed here tonight? And what do you think he picked up on that allowed the left hook to be a big weapon for him?
Yeah, that's a good question, Dave. You know, I think they were so conscious of the right hand, and Barry Hunter, the trainer of Lamont Peterson, said it beforehand. We know we've got to not get hit with that right hand. So they gave him a different punch. They said, we're going to be conscious of that right hand. And what Matthysse did, the first left hook, was a nice counter left hook once he closed the distance against Lamont Peterson. And the bad news about those left hooks knocking him down is it demonstrates to future opponents that left hook is a major weapon. And so Matthysse, with his power, gets the job done. And what makes him an extra scary fighter is that he also has a great chin.
And to back it up even more, Lamont Peterson may not have been a believer in that left hook himself because he was launching a left hook and then got outgunned.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, Lamont Peterson, who's a very good fighter, and we should point out, no one's done this to Lamont Peterson. He has not been stopped. He has not been dominated like this. He's been down sometimes in his past, but he's always gotten up and he's always had a terrific fight. And of course, he only has the 1 loss and a draw against his record prior to tonight. So what Lucas Matthysse did to Lamont Peterson tonight was a statement fight.
It was parity. Matthysse was a 2-1 favorite and yet fought like so much more. Well, that's the story from here. Let's get some post-fight reaction.
Sí, sí, seguro. Es la pelea que me están ofreciendo y que estoy buscando hace rato, así que me dijeron que si pasaba esta pelea, la próxima vez con García, así que bueno, acá estoy ahora.
Yes, it's the fight I've been looking for, and we've talked about it. And I was told that if I get past this, that there's a likelihood that I would be fighting Danny Garcia. So yes, that's what I want.
Sí, bueno, la pelea del primer round, la verdad que me costó un poco. Se movía bien, me agarró bien la distancia, pero bueno, después pude acercar un poquito más. Y en el segundo, cuando empecé a conectar mis manos, lo pude sentir y bueno, así la primera caída y después, bueno, sé que sentía mis manos, así que fui a buscar knockout.
You know, the first round was a little difficult. He moved very well. You know, he moved very well, and his distance control was very, very good. So the second round, I took a little bit more chances, and I closed the gap, and I know he felt my punch, and that's when the first knockdown happened. And once that happened, I kind of knew that I can open up a little bit and get him out of there.
The game plan was to keep boxing. Sometime in the second round, hit him in the back of the head. I got a little upset, started getting a little bit more reckless, wanting to bang. I could feel the fight heating up, and so you know me, I just love to fight. Kind of abandoned the game plan a little bit, and I paid for it. He's a good puncher, of course. You know, he had me hurt. I was hoping they didn't stop the fight because I believe I can weather any storm. But of course, the referee is going to look out for my best interest and my coach. And he decided to stop the fight. But of course, you know, I was willing to fight on. I kind of turned a little too much on my hook and kind of left a little opening. My hands were up, but I turned a little too much, and my, you know, it gave him a good angle to land his shot, and that's pretty much how I got hurt. Always want to test myself. He's a good fighter. He's a great fighter, and that's not going to change anything with me. You know, I'll fight anybody at any time. Still, he's a good fighter with a good punch, and that's all I can say.
The great fighters fight the best.
Well, one of the emerging story angles, and there are a few around this fight, Danny Garcia sitting ringside, and he looked happy before the fight started about maybe fighting the winner. Not as happy after.
I wouldn't be too happy, I have to say. Now, it's not written in stone that he will face the winner of this fight, which of course is Matthysse, but there is every expectation of that. And I mean, if I'm sitting ringside and I look at this, here's the problem that Danny Garcia has. It's not an unwinnable fight for him, but it's very difficult because to beat Lucas Matthysse, I think you either have to be a fantastic boxer with tremendous foot speed so you can box 12 perfect rounds and not get hit with a big shot, or you have to have unimaginable power like Matthysse does because, as we said, Matthysse has a very good chin. The problem is we haven't seen either of those things from Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is a very solid fighter, but those are two things we can't say about him.
And what about the idea that, okay, you're both under the same promotional banner, and then a guy comes out and says, well, this guy's the next Pacquiao, and you're the guy that's supposed to fight him next. What about, could there be a little bit of a psychological play there that might maybe force him back a little bit there?
Well, that's a good question. And, again, that fight isn't made, but I think there's such a hue and a cry for that. And we are now used to in boxing, well, no matter who you're promoted by, and the individual promoters now, because of the Cold War, that they're not doing business with each other, their guys have to fight each other. It's a must, because otherwise there'd be no competitive matches in boxing. So I think this match is likely to get made, and I think it's the one people want to see. Danny Garcia is undefeated. He's got 2 of the world titles. Matthysse is the uncrowned world champion, and the title that Lamont Peterson has was not on the line today, which ironic, isn't it, that Lamont Peterson is still the welterweight champion of the world, according to the IBF, even despite this loss. So, I think that fight should happen.
All right, let's hope that it does, and let's hope it happens soon. Thank you for joining us. For Al Bernstein, this is Dave Bontempo. We enjoyed having you with us tonight on the Boxing Channel.